All right, we're on air. Happy Thursday, February 9th, everybody. We're going to do a quick run through of our Backdrop CMS development task list here. Just so you guys know, we have a pending issue for the PMC. It's requesting a vote, but we haven't gotten a quorum yet, just around how we want to handle vendors that might want to have contracts with us in exchange for things. And in terms of what kinds of things we might want to be giving them or not giving them. And it looks like we're kind of coming down on a policy. For those of you who are watching this or here who are on the PMC, I have posted a revision since last week, and it would be great to get your feedback as to which of the two policies you'd be interested in most. So still not quite landed on that yet. For community outreach, we have a newsletter that's ready to go as soon as our next release of Backdrop, which is great. We ordered new hoodies. They're currently on a truck on the way to my house. So if anyone is waiting on a hoodie of a particular size that we ran before, we now have them. I've also updated the website to indicate that we have all of the sizes of all of the things. So if anyone you know has been waiting to purchase something via the website, they can now do that. All right. BackdropCMS.org, we have a lot of work to do. We have a new homepage design. I think that's finally been close enough to finalize that we can build it and iterate once it's built. But we've got a lot of work to do in terms of actually getting from the website we have now to the website we want to have with that new design. So Wes had started on it back when he had time to work on this for us, and he's run out of time. So if anyone else wants to try and get us over the finish line, that would be great. We've got two current approaches where Wes had started by creating a sub-theme of basis to implement all of the new fancy new stuff in the new design. But a lot of the branding from the basis theme ended up on backdropcms.org, and we need to figure out how to copy all of the branding that we currently have on the website into that new theme, just so that backdropcms.org doesn't look like basis. Because that'll be really confusing to people. So there's a lot of work there involved in all of the stuff that's in the current theme, moving it into the new theme. And I don't know exactly how Wes wanted to have it all organized. So maybe somebody that's a little more familiar with front end stuff can help figure out where to put the code in a way that's going to make sense.
I'll do that.
That would be great. So, so we have on the backdropcms.org repository, there is a new branch that Wes has been working on. So just go to the public repo and give it a pull. I have a branch I've been working on that is a different approach that I think is going to be a lot less work. But I don't have time to do it at all. So if you want to look at those two and see whether you want to do all of the work of copying stuff from the old theme to the new theme, or my approach, which was just add the stuff we need to the current theme, you can take a look at that and see which one looks like it's going to be easier. So the big problem is that we're replacing all of the layouts on backdropcms.org with all of the crazy custom ones that are there now with the ones that are in core, which should make it much easier to maintain. But there is some CSS mixed in with our current CSS that handles that layout business. So we just have to figure out, like, if we have random blocks that are floated or something, to unfloat them where necessary. Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you, Luke, for volunteering for that. Definitely ping me on Gitter if you have any questions. I'll try and help get you going on that today. All right, we also have a new forum, which we're working on at forum.backdropcms.org. We have, I think there are 2 blockers there right now. One of them is deciding on which content type to use. So we have 3 examples up there. One of them is just a custom content type created through the UI by clicking it together. One of them is provided by the forum module, and one of them is the QA forum modules content type that is a little different from the other 2. And so what we need to do is figure out, does the forum module provide anything that we want? So look at the one that's provided by the forum module and see if there's anything there that's not included in our custom one. If there is, we need to figure out if we can only get that from the forum module, in which case we need to keep the forum module. But if it's something like that we can add as a field in a view, that might not be necessary. Then we need to look at the QA forum and create a forum topic and add comments to comments and see what that process feels like. And if there's anything that we really like from the QA forum module that we want to include in our forum, we need to document that too, because we're probably not going to use that module, but we do want to look at that experience and see if there's anything in that experience we want to add to the experience of using our forum. So that would be the steps there on making that decision. And I would just love to have more feedback from people in that issue to help make that decision. So then the next blocker is getting bakery module working. And I know we have a port of that. Thank you, Dr. Wilmot, for working that. Which I have a local site set up that I can test that today. So hopefully I'll try and get that running by the end of the day. And that module, just so you guys know, allows you to log into backdropcms.org and then click over to the forum and already be logged in. So you're sharing your sessions across both sites. Once we have those two things done, we're probably going to be close enough to launch it, but I would also love to put our theme on it. So whatever theme we end up generating from this new homepage thing, taking that and dropping it in the forum and seeing if we can get our normal branding across that site too. And if that works, we could also drop that onto the maybe the API site or wherever else we were going to need it in the future, the localized server, maybe someday. We'll see. Okay, so that's where we are with forum. I think it's making a lot of good progress, but I would love to push it forward a little bit more. I think it's going to be huge for our community to have a place to talk. That's not an issue. Translation server. I must admit I have not looked at this since Nate updated the DNS, but we should have a localize.backdropcms.org set up. It might not be connected to its database yet, but that should be ready to go today. Maybe we can do that through the UI. I don't know. Maybe someone else already set it up since I looked at it. No idea. But
right now it goes to the forum site because it's the same server.
Oh, but I set up a Nginx record that's supposed to send it to its location. Maybe the server just needs to be restarted. Is that how you? Yeah. Well, interesting. Okay. Needs work. Okay. So where we are on that, it's a repository of Drupal 8's localize, Drupal 7's localize, which we're going to try and get to work with Backdrop. So what I was going to do is hook it up to the database and turn on the necessary modules and kick it over to whoever else wants to play with it. So right now I think that's you, Jeff, but once we have the site up, that could be anyone. Let's see. I guess we should change to Backdrop CMS project status at this point. Nate, do you want to take over on that?
Sure. Okay, so let's talk about Backdrop. So the thing that's foremost on our agenda here is releasing 1.61. It's been almost a month since we released 1.6, and we haven't yet released a bug fix follow-up release to address items that have cropped up in 1.6. So that's our objective. As noted in the agenda here, we're attempting to release this tomorrow, which will also unblock the sending of a newsletter announcing the 1.6 release. So the issues that we've got here to deal with, these are all the ones from last week, and we're making some pretty good progress here. Issue 2480, that is an upgrade path for entity view mode. That pull request has now been merged. Header block is not saving which components should be shown, including the logo and the slogan and the site title, which is issue 2473. We have a working pull request there, that does work, but my review, I think that we can probably find a simpler fix there. I've only looked at that one. I haven't actually posted the comment yet, but I'm planning on doing that today. So I think that one is going to be in a good place. Multi-select now has a fixed height that is too short for multiple select items, is issue 2511. Jeff merged that one. Thanks, Jeff. Let's see. 2478, there's an issue with system settings form. We reintroduced that function in Backdrop 1.6, but there's a couple of forms that are saving data incorrectly because of mismatching between the form keys and the values that are stored in the config files. John Franklin has got a pull request there that does work, and I've given a review and it looks pretty good. I think that we might need an upgrade path to clean up some data there, because in his fixing of the problem, which is actually really pretty straightforward, he also discovered that we have some inconsistencies, like basically discovered other bugs that were on those same forms. And so solving the regression is already done, but we could take that a little bit further and clean up the kind of collateral bugs that we also encountered while fixing that problem. And lastly, the table drag. We have an issue where when dragging table rows, sometimes the row gets stuck to the cursor. And that's 2482. And we've had a lot of different attempts at fixing this particular problem. Jen apparently tried 3 or 4 different patches from the Drupal queue, but none of them, either independently or when combined all together, actually seem to solve the problem. But it's very inconsistent between different users. I can't produce the issue at all. Several other people only on certain browsers, and other people on the same browsers and the same operating system. It seems to work fine. So we're going to work together, Jen and I, to kind of use her computer to see if we can figure out what's happening there and get that problem fixed up. But I think with all these other ones, especially things like the system settings form that's not saving, for example, that we'll do our best to resolve all of these. But if we need to put out 1.61 without the table drag fix, then I think that we should just keep moving forward with that and then save that for the next minor bug fix release. There's also a bunch of other items that are tagged for 1.61, a whole boatload actually. Some typos, some minor issues, but lots of great fixes that are in the queue, many of which have pull requests in the 1.61 tracker right now. And of course, anyone that doesn't get fixed, we'll just bump that to 1.62. Okay, 1.7. 1.7 is the next minor release of Backdrop that comes out May 15th, 2017. And there are a couple of items in here that we have slated that we're pretty sure are going to make it, that are listed here in the agenda. And that includes 2 issues related to layouts, which are both really exciting. 1704, which allows you to place all page elements, which are currently hard-coded in the layout templates, to place them as blocks. Like you could place the page title or the page tabs, like the local tasks, or trying to think what the other items are. There's a number of things that are hard-coded in the template, but this makes it so that you can move them around as though they were blocks. And if you've placed the block, then the original location of the menu tabs or whatever it is that they are doesn't show up anymore. Doc Wilmont, who has been working on that, just filed an updated pull request a couple days ago that include some new usability improvements on top of the existing functionality. That makes it so that when you place the page title block, it appears as though the pseudo region will disappear or reappear, which is kind of cool. So it's great to see that's not just functioning, because it was already working, but now being improved upon further. Anybody wants to give that a spin, you can use the pull request sandboxes to give that a review, because from a code perspective, it looks really good. But I'd love to get some feedback on how well it works from a user's perspective. Okay, the next item related to layouts is layout relationships, which is at 2134. There hasn't been any new activity on this issue, but the basic concept looks pretty good. This ability of layout relationships would allow you to take a starting context, such as a node, if you're on node/10 or whatever. Node 10 is your existing context and allows you to form a relationship over to other items that are referenced within that node, such as the author. And that would make it so that you could place fields or place an entire rendered version of the author of a node as a block when you're on the node's layout. So that would be very, very cool. Some functionality that advanced functionality that existed within panels but hasn't existed yet for Backdrop. So I know that there's been a lot of people that I've seen working around this right now using views, but using relationships would make it so that this would be more easily accessible with a lot less configuration. Okay, and then the last item that we've got on the 1.7 docket is reference module. And reference module is kind of a key module that we don't have yet in core that adds a field for making references between different types of entities.
We can just say there's a link to it. We don't have to.
Sorry, I just love talking about issues.
This one especially, everybody knows references, so.
Yep, okay. Well, anyway, you know, it's funny, there isn't actually a link in the agenda. But there is a module. It's right now, it's a contrib module, and you can find all of the work that we've done so far in reference under Backdrop contrib group on GitHub/reference. And we'll add a link into the agenda. I'm not quite sure what happened to it. That's it for 1.7 and the status update on 1.61. The next item on the agenda is just general discussion. So does anybody have any questions or things they would like to bring up? Lots of thinking faces going on. Okay. I don't think that there's anything then. Everybody's still on mute, so I don't think that we have anything. That's it. That's it for the check-in. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll see you guys in GitHub and on Gitter, the chat that we use. And so
Luke, if you want to hang out after the meeting ends, maybe we should chat about theme strategy stuff.
Sure.
Okay. Well, that's it then. Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate you guys joining the meeting and everybody that watched. So talk to you guys later. Not carried items belonging to others. Move all that by subject search.